The Delta fire growing aggressively and quickly. It's exploded to more than 15,000 acres with flames overnight reaching almost 300 feet high. Good evening. I'm Trish Close. Thanks for joining us tonight. Interstate 5 is still closed and homes are still threatened. Tonight we have a team of reporters covering the Delta fire from Medford to Redding, bringing you the latest on fire activity, interstate closures, evacuations, and what's already been lost in this fire. Sade Brown is live in Shasta County. Sade, what is the latest from the fire line?
Hi Trish, I'm here live north of Lakehead. I'm on the side of Interstate 5 northbound. You can see kind of behind me some of the heavy smoke that I've been seeing since this evening. Let me zoom in for you guys. It's been thick, very thick. You can hardly see the outline of the landscape. It's been like this heavy. We haven't seen a lot of flames visibly from the highway, but it's still burning. It's still very active. I'm going to actually talk to the PIO here for the Delta fire. He's going to talk to me a little bit about the origin. Brandon, can you step forward? Hi, how are you doing? I know that we spoke a little bit during the newscast, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the origin. Where did this fire start?
The fire was reported yesterday at 12:51 p.m. at exit 707, which is the Volmer's Delta exit on Interstate 5.
Okay, so do we know a cause? What started it? Was it human? Was it natural?
The investigators have listed it as human. However, the fire remains under investigation by those personnel. Shasta Trinity National Forest will have more information when that becomes available.
Okay, thank you. And what are the challenges that you guys be facing for tonight?
Challenges tonight will be obviously the weather, determine what it does compared to last night. Last night we burned 10,000 acres over night shift. If the weather conditions don't change, we'll have that same type of burning tonight, very extreme.
Okay, thank you so much for what you guys are doing. I'm going to send it back to you guys live north of Lakehead. Sade Brown, KTVL.
All right, Sade, thank you. As mentioned, parts of Interstate 5 are still shut down. Going northbound, it is closed at the Fondale exit, which is about 10 miles north of Redding. Southbound, the interstate is closed at Mott Road. That's about 3.5 miles south of Mount Shasta. News 10's Georgia Lawson spoke with motorists affected.
For some, these closures are more than an inconvenience. For truckers, their job depends on it. Today's closures have forced some to take the 89 and 299 route, adding hours of drive time in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Here's what one driver I talked to said about it.
So there's one of my friends, he's stuck on 89. There's an accident there. It's jammed, it's plugged up there too, so I don't know how we're gonna go through that. And I gotta deliver my load there today. If I don't, then I gotta stay another day here.
Truckers often have to deliver their loads during designated drop-off hours, meaning if the road closures make them just minutes late, they could have to wait a day or more at their final destination before being able to unload their truck and go home. Dollywall says it's been a hard summer for truckers, with this not being the first time many of them have been diverted or stopped entirely. California Highway Patrol is urging people in the area to stay off the roads as much as possible until further notice, whether there are closures or not. In Shasta County, I'm Georgia Lawson at the Delta Fire.
And Interstate 5 shutdown left some travelers with no destination, forcing them to stay in local lodging. News 10's Genevieve Grippo is live in Mount Shasta tonight to explain the stress this has put on traveler services. Genevieve.
That's right, Trish. I spoke with the owner of both the Shasta Inn and across the street, the Strawberry Valley Inn. He has 55 rooms between the two properties. He tells me last night the Delta fire caused all of them to be sold out. Now, about 60% of those rooms went to CAL FIRE personnel, with over 600 people working on this fire in total. Some rooms were set aside for firefighters and evacuees, and both received those at a discounted rate. The majority of the remaining rooms, he said, were taken by drivers who were unable to get through the freeway and did not have a plan B.
Everybody was stranded on I-5, which filled up the inns. Today is a little different. Most people know that are traveling that the road's closed on I-5, and they're either taking a detour or canceling their travel plans.
Todd Anthus says most of the travelers who were stuck in Mount Shasta have since moved on, taking alternate routes like the 299 and the 89. However, drivers should expect severe delays on both of those roads because of traffic. So far, Caltrans has yet to release when the I-5 will fully reopen. However, they say that they do plan to reevaluate the situation tomorrow morning. With your connection to the Delta fire, Genevieve Grippo, News 10.
Genevieve, thank you. Now, along with the closures on I-5, there are evacuations and warnings in place. Shasta County Sheriff's Office has issued a mandatory evacuation for all residents along the Interstate 5 corridor, starting from exit 707 at Volmers north to exit 714 at Gibson. There is an evacuation shelter set up at the Mount Shasta Community Center. Mount Shasta Humane Society is accepting small animals for evacuees using that shelter. In Siskiyou County, the Sheriff's Office has issued an evacuation warning for all residents of Dunsmuir, California. This means this means residents do not have to leave, but they should be ready to leave at any time. And as the Delta fire continues to threaten homes, some structures have already been destroyed. Megan Mackey is where some of that destruction has taken place tonight. Megan, do you know how much damage this fire has caused so far?
Now, at this time, we have no official numbers on the damages and destruction of residential areas as a result of the Delta fire. But as you can see behind me, the devastation is just the reality for several people living in this area. I mean, nothing is recognizable. It's just completely demolished in this pile of rubble. Now, this really is the reality for several people here. I'm currently standing at a home just off of Pollard Flat on the Interstate 5. I was also at Dog Creek Road today, and there was a couple damaged homes there. I didn't see anything quite like this here. And I was also at Slate Creek Road, and that seems to be the most hard-hit area of all of them. But like I said, I'm currently standing on Pollard Flat, and this home behind me is completely demolished. But there's actually one just across the street that is still standing. It doesn't appear to have any damage done to it. So there still is hope for people living in these areas. It's kind of hit or miss on what areas have been damaged. And like I said earlier, we don't have any official numbers at this time, but we will continue to bring you updates as those become available to us. Reporting near Pollard Flat, Megan Mackey.
All right, Megan, thank you. An early aggressive fire season has forced hundreds of aerial resource flights totaling more than 1.4 million gallons of retardant already dropped. The record of 1.6 million gallons was back in 2013. U.S. Forest Service crews believe this fire season will exceed that, seeing as the season is nowhere near its end and all the resources are being used.
Locally here at Medford, we just sent off our last 2 aircraft to the Delta fire. They're now under California fire control, so we're hoping we'll get them back to support if they need us. Otherwise, we're here on standby. And also the folks over at the VLAT base are also on standby just in case they send one of the big DC-10s up.
In his 8 years working as ramp manager, Kevin Facteau says he's never experienced a fire season like this one. He says his peers with 30-plus years experience are saying the same. News 10 is your connection to fire season. In between our newscast, you can stay connected to the latest on acreage, containment, and evacuations. All you have to do is go to KTVL.com. Smoke from several wildfires, including the Delta and Klondike, are reducing air quality in our region. News 10 meteorologist Milt Radford is here with a quick look at your weather. Milt?